Who wrote the infernal pink letter and why? Let's see if we can solve this mystery together. My name is Ronnie Wild, and today we'll be looking at the mystery of the pink letter, also known as the bastard letter. What is the pink letter? This is a letter, some also called the bastard letter, that was sent to Lord Commander Snow of the Watch. It reads as follows in John 13, A Dance with Dragons. Bastard! Your false king is dead, bastard! He and all his host were smashed in 7 days of battle. They have his magic sword. Tell his red whore. The false king's friends are dead. Their heads upon the walls of Winterfell. Come see them, bastard. Your false king lied, and so did you. You told the world you burned the king beyond the wall. You said you sent them to Winterfell to steal my bride from me. I will have my bride back. If you want Mance Rayder back, come and get him. Him in a cage for all the North to see. Proof of your lies. The cage is cold, but I made him a warm cloak from the skins of his 6 whores who came with him to Winterfell. I want my bride. I want the false king's queen. I want his daughter and his red witch. I want his wildling princess. I want his little prince, the wildling babe. And I want my reek. Send them to me, bastard, and I will not trouble you or your black crows. Keep them from me, and I will cut out your heart and eat it. Ramsay Bolton, true lord of Winterfell. So how do we go about deciding who wrote the pink letter? To do this, we look at many factors, like titles used, word choices, and signs of any education within the letter. So let's begin with the most common word used in the letter, bastard. I think we can all agree that the use of bastard was meant to begin the rage in Jon. So we can take from that it was someone who understands this as a tradition below the wall. Let's start off with the first part I want to dissect is the red whore line. Now, after some torture, Ramsay could have learned of Melisandre and her magic, which is how he could have referenced the sword, the magic sword of King Stannis. But it's almost like trying to hide the fact he's calling her a red witch. In A Storm of Swords, Jon 5, Rattleshirt was burned in Mance's stead, glamoured as Mance. And so Mance, glamoured as Rattleshirt, was asked a question. When Jon Snow asked the man in the cage about the rubies, the man tells Jon, ask your red witch. Now, let's take a look at this line. Your false king lied, and so did you. You told the world you burned the king beyond the wall. You say you sent him to Winterfell to steal my bride from me. Now, to me, this would imply the person who wrote the letter had this knowledge of the plan. Yes, Ramsay could have got it through torture, but it feels like the author is angry about the situation than about the bride. Now, let's take a look at the words and use of fix. To me, this would suggest someone educated below the wall. If Mance wrote the letter, then being Arthur Dayne may make some sense. Even Rhaegar Targaryen could make sense. The use of the lute and harp, the signature of Rhaegar and the red and black cloak. And the name Rhaegar sounds phonetically similar to Rhaegar. This is a quick mention of a theory because of hair colour, which will become important later on. The letter talks about Val, the wildling princess. She's the sister of Dala, and the letter talks about Mance's son, who's under the alias Aemon Steelsong with Sam and Gilly. How would Ramsay know this? I highly doubt he would not know. It's not something he would really find interesting unless he had a thought about it. I think this part was written by someone who wanted their family back. Now let's take a look at the word reek. Now, we all know this would have been what Theon would have been called around the Winterfell, because that's what he would now call himself, and that's what Ramsay wants him to be called by everyone. But it's the use of black crows that interests me the most. People down south of the Wall do not use the term black crows to describe the Night's Watch. You would have people call members of the Night's Watch the Black Brothers as a nickname, while north of the Wall, which is where the wildlings are, the Night's Watch is commonly referred to as crows or black crows because of the use of all black. Now, I would say the sign-off of the letter about eating the heart is very Ramsay Bolton. It's a very sadistic, a very evil thing to do. Now, before we put it all together, I'm going to give you this statement. The words in the letter were chosen to provoke Jon into action, to force a man to break his oath that he swore to his brothers of the Night's Watch, to dishonour himself and march to Winterfell, as suggested by King Stannis, with a wildling army. So, let's put this all together. The pink letter was written to save Jon from the coming for the Watch, which is where brothers of the Night's Watch will take up daggers and stab the traitor, saying for the Watch.
For the Watch.
As words of the nature seen in the letter were designed to provoke Jon, to force him to come down and start a war, and thus a rebellion from within Winterfell with Stark loyalists. Now, Jon chose to march in Winterfell not because of his family, but because of the direct threat the letter posed against the Night's Watch. I believe Mance was the one who wrote the letter. He must have believed if he could provoke Jon and either march in Winterfell with the Wildling army and Stannis' army, they could win to save many lives in the process. With words like Red Witch and Black Crows, who only ever came from Mance Rayder, as my evidence for this. Ladies and gentlemen, I propose Mance Rayder wrote the pink or bastard letter to force Jon to come to Winterfell to assist in taking Winterfell from the Boltons, as only Jon can get the members of the Northern Conspiracy to act and to save many people as possible, including himself. As I was putting this together, I forgot one more crucial bit of evidence, and that's a smear of hard pink wax was used to seal the letter. And when the letter was sealed, there was no insignia of House Bolton, which means no one in House Bolton actually wrote the letter. If you got this far, thank you. If you enjoyed the content, please let me know in the comments below, and to like, subscribe, and if you want to, share. This is something that's been on my mind for a while, so I thought I would make the video and see what happens. But with all things said and done, I got stuff to do. I'm sure you do as well. So I bid you a fair sod off and cheerio.